have to tell you, that I tell every group of kids that I talk to, is that I am actually terrified of speaking in front of large groups of kids. Most of the time when I go to visit schools, I have to pull over by the side of the road to vomit before I get there, because I'm so nervous. I did not vomit this morning. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. So you guys don't realize it, but there's a lot of you and you're small. And that's really scary, because small things are always scarier than big things. Like spiders, scarier than cats. I'm so much funnier than you guys are acting. Don't laugh at my jokes or else I might throw up. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about me and introduce one of my books to you today. So let me get started. This is me as a kid, obviously. Many years ago. Now, how many of you guys know when you want to grow up, you want to be a writer? Anybody? Wow, a lot of writers. Well, when I was a kid, I really, more than anything else in the world, wanted to be absolutely anything but a writer. I wanted to be a model, I wanted to be a carpenter, I wanted to be the president. It seemed like a cool job to have. I wanted to be a doctor, actually, for a really long time. I went to school to be a doctor. And about halfway through college, I realized I couldn't be a doctor. Do you know why? There are sick people in hospitals, and sick people are covered in germs, and that's just really gross. And I didn't think that I could do that every day. So I actually didn't think about being a writer until I was done with high school, done with college, done with graduate school, had 2 children. It's only then that I thought that writing books for kids was something I would enjoy and something that I would be good at. And can I tell you a secret? When I started, I was horribly, terribly, awfully, fantastically bad at it. Because writing is like everything else. You couldn't just decide today, I'm going to be an Olympic figure skater, right? And think you're going to win a gold medal tomorrow, right? You can't just decide one day, I'm going to be a great writer and think that everything you write is going to be perfect. It took a lot of work, it took a lot of learning, it took a lot of years before my writing was anywhere good enough to be published. And do you think that after 24 or 30 books, I don't remember how many books I've written, I've lost count. Do you think after all those books I still have to practice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I still have to practice every day to be a good writer. So it isn't an easy path. Now, I told you that after I had kids, I decided that I wanted to be a writer. I decided after I had my 2 daughters, and now I have a son too. Here's my kids. And I like to show a picture of my children because if I do a horrible job up here, but you remember that my kids are cute, you'll think better of me. Just to introduce you to my children, there's Brooklyn there on the left. She's my child with a lot of personality, and she's always had a lot of personality. In fact, there was this time when she was like 3.5 years old, we were at a play date, and she was driving me nuts, and I pull her aside and I say, Brooklyn, when we get home, I'm throwing away your favorite toy. She goes, I don't have a favorite, Mommy, what are you going to do? On the other side, on the right, there is my oldest daughter, Isabella. She's 9. Isabella is absolutely embarrassed that her mother writes books about talking pigs and asks me to stand about 20 feet away from her whenever we're in public. And she does love me, I swear, but she's just embarrassed to be seen with me. And right there in the middle is my son, Sawyer, who doesn't look like a monster, does he? And yet, he is one. Because having a boy after having 2 girls, here's another secret, it's exactly the same as adopting a monkey in a diaper. It's a different species altogether. No offense to you boys out there, I just don't know how your brains work. Now, my children are the inspiration to most of my stories. They're also the reason that I haven't written as much as I could have, because children apparently take a lot of your time away. So, now today, I brought a book to share with you. It's called QUACKENSTEIN HATCHES A FAMILY. It was actually inspired by my son. And I'm not going to get a chance to read the whole thing to you, but I'm going to read you a little bit of it so you can kind of get a flavor. And I'll let you know how my beautiful baby monstrous boy inspired it. In the darkest corner of the zoo, there stood a gloomy shack. A nearby scrawl read, "Keep out all, just leave me be, signed Quack." Poor Quackenstein is a very lonely duck. All around him, all the animals are having babies, and they have families, and they have lots of people to love, and he's all by himself. And he doesn't like it, so he decides to do something about it. He spied a small secluded nook. On impulse he proceeded. He bumped his head. A sign. It read, "Orphaned eggs, homes needed." Quack hatched a plan and crept ahead. This duck would not be stumped. On shaky legs, he chose an egg and cackled, "I'll adopt." So he's come up with a way to have a baby of his own. He's going to adopt an egg. Then on one dark and stormy night, the hour had arrived. Quack heard a crack. He stumbled back and shouted, "It's alive!" Do you think it's going to work out the way he planned, though?
No.
Just then a small beak broke the shell. Quack's heart thumped in his chest. But then two paws with sharp curved claws thrust through and stabbed the nest. "I've hatched a monster, you're no duck," Quack screeched and went quite pale. The thing had fur and legs with spurs and some poor beaver's tail. Now, poor Quackenstein gets absolutely terrified and goes running out the door, and that monster follows him all around the zoo. And finally, he gets to this place. So quickly Quack hid in a cave, but there he made an error. A furry shape blocked his escape. "I'm trapped," he screeched in terror. The thing then snarled, "Oh, there you are." It stalked the trembling fowl. With sharp claws bared and shoulders squared, it leapt in with a growl. Its paws soon squeezed the cringing duck, and Quack thought, "This is bad." His spirit broke when someone spoke. The thing said, "Hello, Dad." "Is that a monster?" No, it's not. He's not even scary at all. A little bit, is he? But sometimes parents get that way. Sometimes parents get scared about being good parents, about what their babies are going to be like. Just the way I was scared when I was expecting my son. I had already had 2 daughters, you saw. I was convinced I was going to have another baby girl, and then the doctor said to me, "You're having a boy." And I said, "No, I'm not, and you can't make me." And it turns out he could make me, because I did have a boy. But I was really, really worried, because I didn't know anything about being a good mom to boys, because, you know, boys are like monkeys. And I didn't sit down to write a story about a parent who was a little scared. But I kind of did, because authors, we write what we know. We write what's going on in our hearts. Now, Quack learned, and I learned, that families are different, and they can be strange, but they can still work out. By the end, the creature beamed, "Yes, Daddy, yes." Quack's heart began to sing. "Come, son," he squawked, and off they walked, in step and paw and wing. But in that corner of the zoo that once housed Quackenstein, a space was cleared, and there appeared a shiny brand new sign. "Welcome to our happy home, come by to visit us. Love Quack," it read, below it said, and his son, kind of an animal, is it, you guys know? And his son Platypus. As promised, a platypus makes every book better. So, this is my newest book. And I'm really pleased with the way it turned out, and I actually think that the platypus ended up being almost as cute as my son. So what more can I ask for? Well, thank you guys for listening to me. I hope I didn't bore you to tears. And I'm going to pass the mic on to the next speaker.